Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Kahne. I'm a graduate of the front-end track at Code Louisville, and I did a project wherein I used the Reddit API to create a search function so that you could find subreddits, posts, and users of interest. And why don't we just go ahead and take a look at that project?
Hello, one and all, and welcome to Robert Kahne's Code Louisville front-end cohort project, where I will go over exactly what I did to work with the Reddit API to do some cool searching and looking around to see what you can find on Reddit, which can be good and bad, I guess, depending on what you look for. As you can see here, this is called Which Subreddit, and it asks you to search for something, and it has a button here that you can click to show subreddits. So when I was actually doing an earlier version of this test, or going through this website, I looked up cats, and it came up with exactly one subreddit where people were talking about cats. So we're going to look for something very specific. We're going to look for Russian blue cats. So as you can see, the place where Russian blue cats are talked about the most are the cats subreddit with 41 times that shows up in the cats subreddit. In Ask Reddit, it shows up 6 times. And in the pet subreddit, it shows up 5 times. If you click on the subreddit here, it takes you directly to the cats subreddit. Look at all these great cats here. No Russian blues there, though. So we'll go back and we'll look for posts. So we're going to look specifically for posts that involve Russian blue cats. So if we click show posts here, this one's going to be great. It's cross-posted to the awe subreddit. So we'll click here and you can see, oh, isn't that the most precious little feline you've ever seen? Okay, and so then we can go to users and we can see the users that talk the most about Russian blue cats. If we click show users, what happens is we come up with Corby89. I don't know who this person is. Now you're featured in my video here. So this is this person's page, I guess, where they have all the things that they posted. And let's see if we can find anything about Russian blues. Look there. She's helping to identify a kitten in cats, where they're talking about Russian blue cats. So there you go. That's the website and how it works. So let's take a look at some of the code. So here's the code. I guess we can start with looking at the HTML code. So you can see here, we have some script tags up here where we're linking to jQuery, and underscore, which is works with arrays to do some cool stuff. So we'll go over some of that when we get to the JavaScript. And it, of course, also links to my specific JavaScript file that essentially my app.js file. And then some style sheets. So you can see here, there's a pretty basic nav bar with 3, pages of the website, and then some stuff. And then down here we have the div class subreddit list, which gets replaced with the DOM manipulation in the JavaScript file with the subreddits when you click the button. So the same basic principle in users, where we have a author list, and we also have different thing active in the nav bar. You can see the users button is active, and post as well. It's called post list down here, this div that gets replaced. So let's take a look at some of the JavaScript. Let's go through it, I guess, a little bit. So you can see here there's some variables that get initialized up here. This is the query string, where the search term gets put into. This is, of course, this comes in. I'm sorry, I should probably start by saying this is a function. Here, the add subreddits function in some variable declaration. The query string is what gets pulled in here. So what happens is we build up an HTML string, and then we do an API call to the Reddit API. And if it's successful, it runs this anonymous function here. So as you can see, we run through this. R is a response data.data.children, which is a really long piece of JSON file. And it gets turned into a Reddit array. So then, we go through it and we push all the things into the subreddit. This underscore here is where we use it. We pull only the unique subreddits that get pulled into here, so we can have a list. And then we have another nested loop in here. And in this nested loop, this is how we identify how many of the responses to the initial API call are included in the unique subreddits, which is how, if we go back to the screen here, when we looked for Russian blue cats, as you can see, as you can see, there's 41 instances of the cats subreddit. So these are the responses to in the unique subreddits, and this is how many times they show up. So we have that nested loop there to help us identify how many times cats were mentioned. So that's how that happens in here. And then down here, we sort them all, and then we go through all of these sorted subreddit objects, and then we build up our HTML string so that we here see here's the A tag here, so that in Bootstrap we're actually able to click on these A tags inside of an unordered list, and we can actually go to the website where we are we're supposed to go here. So we put the name of the subreddit here, we add some styling over here, and then the badge here with the number of times it appears over there, and that's how that HTML gets built up. And then we, of course, push that to the subreddit list. The subreddit list, I guess that's a ID using some dominant violation jQuery here. Okay, so that's one of the add subreddits functions here. Then we also have add posts and add authors, which work in very much the same way, except for we're looking for different parts of the response, the JSON file that gets pushed to us in the API call. So for posts, we're actually searching for posts, and for authors, we're searching for authors. And that's essentially how that goes down. So then down here, we have the document ready function, which is what happens if you click the show subreddit, show post, or show authors button. And if you click it, the add subreddits function gets called with the search that's inside of the A tag. No, excuse me, the A search, piece of the ID A search, which is of course the bar that says search for something, and whatever's in there goes up into the function, and that's how that gets run. And we have all three of them here in one file, so that we can, it's the optimization for this HTML files over here, the app.js. Okay, so as you can see, this looks pretty. It's pretty much Bootstrap, which includes a lot of the optimization, accessibility, and responsive and performance-based optimizations that we want. Of course, as you make it smaller, it changes the way that it looks and everything else. So yeah, I had at one point done some pretty substantial CSS work, but didn't end up including any of that, because once I discovered that Bootstrap existed, I discovered that that looked better than anything I could do by hand. So we just have basic Bootstrap here, which is very, very handy to learn existed. Okay, so that is my project. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed putting it together. Thanks.
Thanks everybody for watching this video. The next steps with this project are, I had a different idea at the beginning, which was to take APIs from a lot of different networks and social networks and be able to search across a lot of different places. I've been developing skills in Python to use some backend technology to be able to do that. I've taken a lot of the classes in Treehouse, and I've actually started applying that. I've made a couple of big first steps, I think, towards doing that. So it's a journey, it's a process. We'll see what ends up happening with the project. In terms of my profession, I've already been able, in my day job as a data analyst, to take a lot of these front-end skills to style and add some interactivity to a lot of the static stuff that I had been creating before. I think it's made a lot of my work a lot more impressive. So I'm hoping that the skills I've learned here will help me to improve my status at my current job, or find a different one that utilizes my skills at a higher level. So that's my goals professionally. My name, again, is Robert Kahne, and I'm a graduate of the front-end track at Code Louisville. And thanks so much for watching this video.